And just when we thought it would be predictable, a real bombshell today. We're going to get to that in a minute. But first, as you may predict, Democrats say the evidence so far does show President Trump abused the power of his office. Republicans say the hearing was just a theatrical performance by Democrats. But both witnesses testified today they were concerned about the president's phone call with the president of Ukraine.
And nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Two career diplomats testified about President Trump's actions with Ukraine as the impeachment inquiry played out before the cameras.
I'm not here to take one side or the other or to advocate any particular outcome.
Bill Taylor, the top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine, said it was his understanding President Trump froze military assistance to Ukraine to pressure the country's new leader to launch politically motivated investigations. Taylor revealed new information about a phone call his staffer overheard between President Trump and EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland.
Following the call with President Trump, the member of my staff asked Ambassador Sondland what President Trump thought about Ukraine. Ambassador Sondland responded that President Trump cares more about the investigations of Biden.
But President Trump denied that during a news conference today with Turkey's president.
I know nothing about that. First time I've heard it. The one thing I've seen that Sondland said was that he did speak to me for a brief moment, and I said no quid pro quo under any circumstances, and that's true.
Democrats, led by House Intelligence Committee Chairman from Burbank Adam Schiff, said the goal of the inquiry is to see if President Trump's actions amount to an abuse of power.
Is this what Americans should now expect from their president? If this is not impeachable conduct, what is?
But Republicans challenged Taylor's testimony, saying Ukraine never felt pressured.
Your clear understanding was obviously wrong because it didn't happen. President Zelensky didn't announce he was going to investigate Burisma or the Bidens.
Another witness, diplomat George Kent, testified about the involvement of Rudy Giuliani, President Trump's personal attorney.
It became clear to me that Giuliani's efforts to gin up politically motivated investigations were now infecting U.S. engagement with Ukraine.
He accused Giuliani of spreading lies about former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine Marie Yovanovitch to get her removed from her post. And Yovanovitch will testify before the Intelligence Committee on Friday. Then 8 more witnesses are scheduled to testify next week. Hearings will eventually shift to the Judiciary Committee to consider actual articles of impeachment. Back to you.
All right. Thank you for that, Randy.
Randy, thanks.